Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. You like that? 3, 1, 2, 3. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yes. I think we can safely call this
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
the official free agency prediction edition of Write That Down, right? Unless you guys aren't going in that direction with your predictions. But I've got a couple Kirk Cousins predictions. I'm ready to rumble.
Hold on, that was my fault. I muted Judd because he was breathing into his mic when I said we're going, and I forgot to unmute him. So that's
I didn't get
twofold.
close to the mic. I was back
No,
here drinking
Judd, you were
coffee.
going. And
I don't think I was.
You.
I don't think I was.
I am your sports dad.
So,
But
so
yeah.
it was twofold. It was
Yep.
me forgetting to unmute Judd after I muted Judd, who
I think
was
it's your
talking
sensitive ears.
asshole.
I think it's your sensitive ears, but that's just
Oh,
me.
we got rabbit ears
Yep.
decks. Yeah.
I
rabbit
have
ears.
I have a couple of free agent predictions, but let's just say I'm throwing a bit of a curveball on one.
Oh, really?
Ooh, all right.
Uh-huh. To look ahead on a free agent prediction.
We'll see. Okay. So, yeah, welcome in. This is the Write That Down Wednesday edition of Purple Daily, where we are the only show dumb enough in the entire country to actually put statistics next to our predictions each week. We do it also on the OG version, which you can find on the Score North YouTube channel and the Mackie and Judd podcast feed. It's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions or show-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable in some way. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. The season runs Super Bowl to Super Bowl, so we're just about 3 weeks into the new season here. And listeners, if you want to be like Tom and participate as a guest listener predictor, you can send Declan an email or a message through the Score North app, and we will get you guys scheduled. So let's waste no time getting into the accountability session, starting with Judd. Okay? Nothing came off the board for you. But part of a prediction did. So in the absence of predictions coming off the board, we're going to highlight ones that are still on the board. You said Eric Kendricks and Patrick Peterson would be released by their respective teams this offseason. Well, Eric Kendricks got released by the Chargers yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Peterson still...
Let me check with his. He's a fall through the cracks guy. Let me check on Pat.
Let's Google that here. I just want to make sure.
Because he's not
Patrick
at the point in his career
Peterson.
here where it would be a big deal if he was not back in Pittsburgh.
He's still with Pittsburgh as of today, March 6th,
Okay.
2024. Man, he's 33.
Signed a 2-year contract last season. I will say if they cut, he has and also, by the way, a roster bonus due March 16th, which would be a $3 million bonus. If they were to cut him, they would have $3 million in dead, but they'd save 6.8. So
he's
he
a
is
candidate.
I like my odds.
He's a candidate. Yeah.
Good guy. I like him. Great podcaster, but I like my odds.
Okay, old Macadac had 3 things come off the board here.
Oh.
A couple good things. Said Joe Alt will break some sort of offensive line combine record. He did very well at the combine, but he did not break any records. Dude, a lot of these offensive tackles who weigh like 320 pounds and are 6'7" are running sub 5 40-yard dashes now.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they're not fat now. They're big. They're in great shape. It's no fun anymore.
Yeah, they don't have. Who's the guy? Was it Andre? Oh, Andre Smith was the guy that did it shirtless. Booney told me that he was roommates at the combine with Andre Smith.
Oh, really?
And he left early, and they went into Boone's room, and they were like, because it's all on lockdown there. If you're a player, you can't. Your whole day is being controlled. They've got security so that no one can get to the rooms and stuff. And they came up. They're like, "Where did he go?" And Boone's like, "I don't know." Well, you're his roommate. I don't know. Is he shirtless running the 40 again?
Yeah.
Go
I'm
check.
sure Booney didn't exactly follow him around to make sure they knew where he was going.
No. And then I said before March 11th, there'd be a credible report that the Vikings and Cousins are far apart on contract negotiations. So you can tell me if I'm being too opportunistic here, but Dan Graziano reported a couple days ago that Cousins has a specific idea and conditions for what he wants in a contract, and the Vikings have not met that yet. And then there's all the other Florio steam. So it's some conjecture here, but is this correct yet or no?
It's so...
We can leave it on the board if you feel like it's too borderline.
I feel like it's correct. It's not a touchdown.
Yeah, it's not a touchdown.
But I do think
They're
It's
clearly
close enough.
not
This
close on a
meets-
contract, right?
yeah, they're not close. So
it's
I
close
personally
enough.
would say yes.
It's close enough. I don't think we're going to get like those specific words necessarily. So, yeah.
Okay. And then this one here, it's a 3-item parlay.
That is good.
Josh Allen, Jaguars, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Justin Madubuike would all be franchise tagged. And 3-item parlays are touchdowns on this show, usually.
But Christian Wilkins was not. Good news if you're a Vikings fan.
Man, that would be a great signing if they could make that happen,
Oh, they can make it happen.
especially if they've got a little more cap space. Huh?
Anyway, nice job.
Thank you. Okay, David said there'd be a credible report that the Vikings would bring in that controversial punter. Is it Matt Araiza?
All right.
Yeah.
The Chiefs just signed
But
him.
the Chiefs brought him in. Yep. Declan, nothing came off the board. I was searching for Rich Eisen's 40 time.
Something did come off the board. I said there'd be 3 40-yard dash times of under 4.3, and there was only 2. So that is a miss for me.
A self-report there. Very honorable.
And on the Rich Eisen thing, so yeah, I did a little more research on this. He actually doesn't run this race until he does it with St. Jude's, and it's on April 21st.
Yep. So this
it'll-
will stay on the board for another month
until
and a
then.
half.
Yeah, I thought he did it at the combine. No, he does it on April 21st with
He
St. Jude's
started
Hospital.
doing it at the combine
That's-
years ago, and
That's
now
what I was
it's
going to
become a
say.
charity thing.
He did it at the combine at one time. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
But to Declan's credit, this is the verbiage of the prediction.
Yep.
Rich Eisen's 40-yard dash time will be over 6.14 seconds. He did not say at the combine.
Correct.
Oh.
If Declan had said at the combine, then this
combine.
would have been wrong,
Correct.
but he left it open.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had to double check that last night because I was a little nervous, but thankfully, on that prompter burgundy, I'm okay.
Nice.
So with that, Declan, you're actually with a 0% completion percentage, along with the listeners. I'm at 66.7% with the first touchdown of the season as the stats get rolling here early in the year. All time, Declan at 36%, Judd 35.1%. I'm at 33.4%. Listeners at 22.4%. They just throw Hail Marys pretty much when you guys get on here. I have 47 career touchdowns, Declan 41, listeners 39, Judd with 33. Those are the career stats going back to 2021. Let's get Tom in here. Tom is our guest listener predictor making his debut. Tom, what's going on, man?
Well, it's a beautiful day.
Are you in Minnesota?
Actually, no, I am in northern Illinois.
Okay.
So I've relocated twice since Minnesota. Lived in Cincinnati for about 5 years, and then we've been here since '97. So
Okay. So you've been fighting with Bears fans for the last 2.5 decades.
I actually have a funny story about that. When we first moved here, the Bears were in the Super Bowl either the next year or very shortly after we moved here, and our church had a men's afternoon, Super Bowl watching party. And I thought, I don't know if I want to really go to this thing, hanging around all these Bears fans, and stuff. And if you remember, Devin Hester returned that opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Yep.
And I thought, this is going to be the longest afternoon of my life. And then it got better. As the game went along. And Schadenfreude is a terrible thing. It's a terrible, evil thing, but it feels really good.
Oh, in sports, it's outstanding. It's fine in sports. Very forgivable.
It's allowable.
Yes.
So what's your history as a Vikings fan then? What's your first Vikings memory?
Well, I am roughly the same age as Prince. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I grew up on the south edge of Powderhorn Park. And my first recollection of seeing a Vikings game was at Memorial Stadium. And I think it was in '65, because the only reason I can think of the Vikings would have played Memorial Stadium is the Twins were using the Met Stadium for the World Series. So then my mom was working for a construction company that had 4 season tickets behind the third base dugout in the box seat area in Met Stadium. So between probably 68 and 73 or so, we probably saw 2 Vikings games a year, usually a preseason game and then a really cold one late in the season.
Yeah.
And so a lot of Met Stadium recollections. I did take trombone lessons from a guy who played in the Viking ship at the northeast corner of the field in the Met Stadium there.
Yeah.
And his funny story is that back in those days, they used to use Pond's cold cream and water on the slide to make it go. Well, you can't do that in Met Stadium in December. It just doesn't work. And brass instruments freeze up, including the valve instruments also freeze up because
They do,
they're,
yeah.
cold metal, and then you're blowing your hot breath in there.
Mhm.
And so what they used to do is they would use Pond's cold cream and vodka.
Wow.
Genius.
I love
Yeah.
it.
The
And
antifreeze.
vodka to stay hydrated on the side too. It's
Yeah.
a dual function.
But we were behind the third base dugout, or first base dugout rather. So we were on the side where the Vikings would come out of the tunnel. So we were about 7 rows up or so. So as they were coming back in for halftime and so on, they were facing us. So I was that close to all those Vikings players.
Yeah.
Now I also have a twin story if you have like a minute for that.
Sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
So I was in Connecticut and trying to get back to Chicago. This is when I still lived in Minnesota, but I was having some equipment installed in Connecticut and more custom equipment being built in Chicago at that time. I was a manufacturing engineer, as a project engineer, and I used to fly out of Hartford because it was easier to do that than go down to LaGuardia. And somehow or other, a truck flipped over on the interstate there in Connecticut and dumped steel coils everywhere, and the straps broke off them and they unrolled everywhere, and it was a mess. And so I ended up with about a 3.5 hour layover in Detroit Metro Airport. So I was hungry and I headed down to get a piece of pizza, and I was going down the moving walkway, and there's a guy coming the other way, looked strangely familiar, and I had a look on my face like, where do I know you from? And he had a look on his face like, boy, I hope this guy doesn't recognize me. And I couldn't figure out who it was. So after I got my pizza, I came back to the gate. I noticed that at the next gate, or the 2 gates over, there was a bunch of young guys about my age in their 20s and stuff, early 30s. And they were all wearing suits, and they were playing a game where they were throwing a $20 bill out in the middle of the concourse and then watching people react to that. And so some people would just pick up the money and walk away, and other people would look around to see who was looking, or, they'd ask those guys, did you see who dropped this or whatever? And they'd let them keep the money. So they were having a good time. And it suddenly dawned on me that was Kirby Puckett and Gary Gaetti and Ken Herbeck and the whole 87 Minnesota Twins.
Awesome.
It was the middle of summer, and I didn't have any idea they were going to be in the World Series. The guy I saw in the moving walkway was Blurt Blyleven. And
when he has the "I love to fart" T-shirt on, it probably should have been a dead giveaway.
I don't remember what he was wearing, honestly. I just remember that he had the funniest look on his face, like, I hope this guy doesn't talk to me.
Isn't it funny that those guys are just that was an era, right? They flew commercial, right? Was that common?
Point, I think they did.
Yeah.
I want to say I was on. I don't remember if it was Republic at that time or, North Central or somebody. I don't know. The thing got all hosed up, and I didn't get to Chicago till 1 a.m. or something like that, and spent 3 hours in a hotel room getting a nap and a shower, and then I was out, doing my thing the next day. So
that's funny.
Road warrior life is difficult, but you do run into some interesting stuff. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, that's funny, man. And now everyone's flying 5-star accommodations with it's like private chartered jets and stuff. So
yeah,
that's a great story.
I could have gone over, I think, and I might have got him to sign something, which might have been worth something today. But I thought, no, you know what? These guys are having a chance to sort of be like regular people.
Yeah, no,
Nobody recognize them. I thought I'd just leave them alone.
I'm sure they appreciate
and that story is better than like having if the story ends with you going up and it turns south or something. 100%.
Fanboying them. Oh no.
Well, Tom, let's start with your first Vikings or football related prediction here, and we'll go around the room 3 times. We'll go Tom, Judd, Declan, back to me. Fire away, Tom.
Sure. Well, my first prediction's about our favorite hero, Mr. Cousins. And there are several ways this could play out, but I'm going to say that Kirk will start no more than 13 more games for the Vikings. So there's a number of different ways I could win on this. He could not get signed. He could come back and get hurt. He could come back and they've got the whiz kid and they want to try him out at the end of the season. Or, the only way to lose really is if he plays starts more than 13 games next year. So
okay. Okay. I see Tom cooking up, looking for a completion here. I like it.
Yeah, well, the idea is listeners are needing to get that average up.
It's true. Yeah, sometimes we clown each other, the three guys on the show, about checkdowns, but the listeners could
Write this down.
maybe throw a short pass and get a completion once in a while. So, Judd.
All right, write this down. Kirk Cousins will throw at least 2 interceptions against the Vikings next season.
Oh, man.
So the Vikings play host to the Falcons. I'm confident that the game will not be the one played in London, but the Falcons and Vikings do play. So Kirk Cousins will be picked off at least twice because he will be gnashing his teeth, trying to extract revenge, clenching up a little bit too much.
It'll be a primetime game.
It'll be a primetime game. Joe Buck will call them. That's off the record. And there will be 2 interceptions. No fewer than 2 interceptions.
Yep.
So 2 or more.
So negative. Such a
Write
Kirk
this
hater.
down.
Dex?
All right, so free agency opening next week, and then when are the official contracts? When you can officially start signing guys? Like when can teams make the press release? Wednesday, right? Okay. So I have per reports in like parentheses of my predictions of each of them because they will all come off the board by next Wednesday. But I just don't want to get burned with some of my verbiage here.
Okay.
So I'll say the first one, and then if there's something that is fishy, let me know. But Kirk Cousins will sign with the Falcons by next week's. Write that down. And the contract will be worth up to $85 million.
So it'll be
the total of the like a 2-year $85 million contract, 2-year $90 million contract. This would still count. He will sign with the Falcons next week, and the contract will be worth up to at least $85 million. Write it down.
I'm gonna
Write this down.
I'm gonna one up that. I think the greatest negotiator in the history of American professional sports is I think he is as dialed in as he's ever been in his life right now. He's posting the photo of him and his son from free school this morning. You can't tell if it's in Minnesota, Atlanta, or wherever. Write this down. Kirk Cousins' next contract will be at least a 3-year deal. Now, there could be some funny money, whatever, but the structure of the deal will be at least a 3-year deal. And that doesn't count void years, by the way. So, like, you could do 2 years and, like, 3 more void years or whatever, but I'm saying the actual deal will be at least a 3-year contract.
3-year contract.
Yep.
Okay.
Write it down.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Tom.
Okay, well, I forgot when I make predictions, I got to put on my Zolg ads here.
I like it.
Same.
My
like
fashion
that.
frames.
It's a good
We
look,
should
Tom.
we should sell those on the shop.
Actually, when I was still stubbly a few years back and Judd was still hefty, we looked like we could have been brothers. But and I
Yeah,
can
you
also
got.
do
I've seen
this.
Judd's had that beard growth like that
Oh,
before.
yeah. And it's all gray, too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like yours. All gray.
So anyway, this is a little bit more difficult prediction, but someone who is not currently on the Vikings roster will lead the team in some good statistical category in the coming season.
Okay.
It'll be like most receptions, most yards from scrimmage, most sacks, whatever. Something
Okay.
like that.
I'm fine with that. We'll find a good statistic. We'll dig deep on PFF. There's about 150 that we could probably choose from. I like it.
Write this down.
Okay, Judd.
The Vikings will come to a reported agreement with a top 25 free agent per PFF. So they've got a list that they update next Monday. So next Monday.
On Monday.
On Monday. So there will be a report. So again, per reports, they will come to an agreement with a top 25 free agent per PFF next Monday. I'm sort of hoping the Christian Wilkins thing gets done quickly.
Well, Cousins is one of them, so he would count, right?
Yep.
Josh Allen, T. Higgins. Some of these guys have been franchised, like
Yep,
Brian
T.
Burns,
Higgins.
Metabike,
T. Higgins has been franchised,
Christian
yeah.
Wilkins,
But yeah, top 25 per PFF.
Legarius Sneed is franchised, right? He's a trade candidate, right?
He's a trade candidate who's been franchised. Yes.
And then I'm just going through some of the other ones. Daniil Hunter coming back would
Yep.
count.
I'm hoping it's Wilkins. I think he's the most realistic target.
Kendall Fuller, the cornerback you've mentioned, is in this
Yep.
mix.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff is an edge rusher from the Jets. DJ Reader we've talked about. Patrick Queen, he's one of the top linebackers. And then Kevin Dotson. My guy, Kevin Dotson,
He's going to get paid, though.
he's 24.
He will get paid, so that's good.
Yep. So, okay. Declan?
Write this down.
All right, write this down. Daniil Hunter will sign a contract with an NFC North team by next week's. Write that down.
Dex and I are tracking on ours here. I'm just gonna one up and say it's the Bears. Daniil Hunter to the Bears by next week's. Write that down.
Okay. So yours is a touchdown. Declan's is not, correct? Is that fair to say?
Well, I think if we hadn't already seen like the odds are Bears, Jaguars, Lions are the top 3.
Okay.
So I think because that's
So
already
both are not.
out there.
Okay. Fair.
Well, I think mine's a touchdown because I'm being specific.
You're being specific.
That's
yeah.
what I was
But
saying.
Declan's kind of taking 2 of the 3. I don't know. You tell me, Judd.
I think yours is. I think you being specific is a touchdown. That's what I was saying. Like the Bears is a touchdown. I don't think taking the whole division is a touchdown.
Yeah.
You
Boy,
guys
if
think
the,
that's
if
fair?
the Lions get it, man, can you imagine Daniil Hunter and Aiden Hutchinson?
Yeah, good luck with that. Well, you got 2 good tackles. That's why you got tackles.
Wild. So, okay,
Write this
back to
down.
Tom for your third and final prediction, sir.
Okay, well, I haven't heard this one before, but Justice Jefferson will be the top paid non-quarterback in the coming season, but not in 2025. Somebody will overtop him next season.
Okay.
So,
So we have to. So it's kind of a 2-part. We have to wait for
yep.
the Jamar Chase contract or
Yep.
somebody
Yeah, I would
else, or
think that a big contract like that would get done by summer at some point, but
the
hard to
Aiden
say.
Hutchinson contract. Wouldn't he's up
Well,
at some point, right?
And Jamar Chase is definitely going to try to jump Jefferson, which I think is part of Jefferson's concern here. Because they're
Imagine
buddies and
having
they're
that
competitive.
concern, man. Oh man. Is it 34 million or 36?
Who pays for
million?
dinner?
Write this down.
The second best millionaire in the world, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tom, great stuff. Great stories from you today on your Write That Down debut. Since you've got this life-changing platform right now, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped get you to this pinnacle moment?
Yeah, my single mother that raised us, she was amazing, and she was the world's most intense Viking fan. She followed them all the time, and it was hard in the pre-internet days. You know, you had to catch it on the radio or see it on the TV. And as I became a road warrior, it was nuts trying to follow them. You know, like I'd get into some hotel room at 9:00 at night and turn on Sports Center, and I'd hear, and the final score of the Vikings game was such and such, and they'd have to watch for 2 hours for it to come back around. But she made me interested in what the Vikings were doing, and in football is the only sport I've ever really followed or ever really been interested in, and so she's the one.
Mom's
Love it,
the
man.
best, man. There's no question about it.
Amen. Amen, Tom. Thanks for coming on. Let's do it again sometime.
It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, there he is. Judd's,
Great glasses, too. He's got the
Judd's
great glasses.
doppelganger,
I love
Tom,
Tom's
making
glasses.
his predictions.
Thanks, Tom.
So, all right, boys, before we get into our final round of predictions and then another interesting mock here, let's shout out our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. So, if you're a business owner, do you have a game plan in place to stay focused on safety and preventing claims against your company? Let the team at Federated Insurance help support your business. They offer a customizable lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management services to help you continue your winning streak as a great company and a great business owner. They measure their success at Federated by the success of your business. It's a true partnership, face-to-face, eye-to-eye relationship. Find out more at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. Also, it's spring cleaning season, and the folks at Zero Res are here to do it for you with a 4.9 out of 5-star rating on Google, 17,000 reviews. Make sure you call Zero Res and ask for the Score North special. That's 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $119 and a free hallway. And this month, take $75 off when you get your Air Ducts Zero Res clean. That's 952 Zero Res or ZeroResMinnesota.com. Spell it forward or backward. It spells the same, Zero Res.
Write this down.
Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
Judd, what's your third and final prediction?
I'm going to transition from free agency in the National Football League to the draft. And I'm going to jump on the Thursday bandwagon with this. Write that down.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy will be a top 5 pick in this draft.
Whoa.
Oh, dude.
JJ McCarthy is going to go in the top 5 of this draft.
I love Thor came out swinging yesterday. And by the way, apologies. We told you guys late last week that it was going to be a 2 Thursday day a week. We were going to do like a Monday and a Thursday.
Yep.
Thor came down with a nasty bug over the weekend, and so we're giving him a couple days to recover and get right. So Thursday back in the mix tomorrow, and then we're going to double up to make up for lost time probably in a couple weeks.
Yep.
At some point. Maybe next week we'll kind of gauge it.
Thor, plain and simple, draft fever.
That's what he came
It's
down
a
with.
nasty case of draft fever. Too much draft. But I think his McCarthy thing. So, in hindsight, he clearly was reflecting more so. I think what the inside the league was saying.
Yeah, his
Then,
stock hasn't been. His stock has only been rising on the outside.
Well, and I really feel like when it comes to the draft, there's two silos. There's the silo that we are in as fans, right? Like you read stuff and you got the experts, the quote unquote experts. But then there's like the inside the league guys, which I think Thor taps into more. And so, like the combine helped JJ, but I think we were probably way too low previously.
Yeah.
And being a quarterback, I think he's top 5.
Yeah, it's going to be, man, especially with the Giants now leaning, it sounds like, toward quarterback. You might have to just make an aggressive move. You might not be able to just kind of wait.
The Chargers can trade that pick now.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the 5 pick. It's a perfect place to go get him and cut a team off. Like the Vikings could cut the Giants off.
Yes. So much jockeying for position.
Draft fever.
Write this down.
Declan?
All right, last one for me. Write this down. The Vikings will sign a player to a contract by next week's Write That Down, totaling up to $30 million.
Okay. Hold on. So like the total contract.
The total contract. I don't know if this will be a big fish.
But not above 30 million?
Totaling at least $30 million.
Well, that's the opposite of what you just said.
Totaling at least $30 million.
Okay.
Totaling at least $30 million.
So a fairly big fish player is what you're... Okay.
A fairly big. I mean, but because they signed
not
Josh
huge.
Oliver was their big guy.
It could be
the
huge.
first-
It's at least $30 million.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be like Kirk. I mean, Kirk would
Yeah,
obviously...
but you're starting
trump
with
this.
it's going to be a really good player, but you're talking up to a superstar, and you're not talking Greg Joseph, right? Just off
Not
record.
talking Greg Joseph, but last year their first big guy was Josh Oliver, and that was like $20 million. So if that was the case again, this wouldn't count.
But they're going to have more money this time around.
They will. They will. So they'll sign a player to a contract of at least $30 million. I bet.
And this could be a player that they bring back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're all free agents.
No, I know. I'm just, you know what? It's some friends just clarifying the meaning of things.
Okay.
Write this down.
Kirk Cousins, I have to phrase this, and I might need help with this, but it's kind of a parlay, I guess. I'm saying he's going to sign elsewhere. So that's part one.
Okay.
And he will thank people with the Vikings in writing. So either on social media, Judd, you predicted like a Star Tribune takeout,
Yeah.
Players Tribune.
Yep.
So he will leave the Vikings. He will thank people in writing, and he will name. Well, I'll just say this: he'll thank people in writing, but he won't name Kwesi. He won't name Kwesi. The spirit of this is like when Kyle Rudolph
I was
left.
going to say, or Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle wrote thousands of words, an ode to his career with the Vikings. You know. Oh my gosh!
Thank
all
every
the
backup
coaches.
quarterback,
Like he
every
literally
slappy.
named 50 people by name. Yeah, backup trainer guy, but he named Bridgewater, Matt Castle. He did not name Kirk Cousins.
That was the greatest. God, it was funny.
Kind of weird. So Cousins will leave. He will thank people in writing, or he will, or like, yeah, I'll just say he'll thank people in writing. So it could be like a thank you, Vikings fans, thank you,
his
organization,
farewell.
but he will not name Kwesi.
Okay, so
in
we're
that
going.
thank you.
So we're going like an Instagram post probably, or Players Tribune.
Yep.
Because Twitter, you wouldn't have enough. Well, I guess you could do two things, but
And off the
I get the
record,
point.
what I'm going for here is like I think he's going to name people. I think he's going to name like KOC.
he'll name O'Connell. Yep.
But I don't think he's going to name Kwesi.
He'll leave out Zimmer, right? he'll leave out Kwesi. like you know who he's going to leave out.
He'll leave out Rudolph for sure.
Oh yeah, Kyle's got no shot.
So
Write this down.
there's the predictions here. Every Wednesday, we put statistics next to our predictions like idiots and commit career suicide. When are you guys going to admit that you were wrong? Well, here we are. You can see how wrong we are on a regular basis. Boys, there's another mock out here this morning.
I want a mock.
And this is from the Bleacher Report NFL scouting department.
Okay.
I didn't know Bleacher Report had an NFL scouting department, but they do.
Who's in this department? I'd be curious. This is like former executives.
So it is. It's Brandon Thorne, who is the offensive line guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brent Sobleski, Corey Giddings, Derek Klassen, and Matt Holder.
Okay.
They all sat down during their time in Indianapolis and pieced together a 3-round mock draft based on their evaluations and everything that occurred in Indianapolis.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. So let's start here with the Chicago Bears. They take Caleb Williams from USC. Commanders take Drake May. Patriots take Jaden Daniels. Cardinals take Marvin Harrison Jr. See, the lack of trades again here. I don't know, guys. Chargers take Joe Alt at 5.
I'm not feeling this draft at all right now, dude.
You got to do trades at this point. The combine's over. Like, you got to do trades.
Yes.
Giants take Roma Dunze. Titans take Malik Neighbors. So 3 wide receivers and 3 quarterbacks off the board in the first 7 picks. Atlanta takes J.J. McCarthy at 8. Really?
I got nothing.
Wait, these dudes, I mean, the Kirk is like
you're at the
minus
combine.
275 to go to Atlanta.
You're at the. This is like when it's
What are we
pouring
doing
rain
here?
and a tornado is coming, but the forecast says it's going to be sunny and nice. So you report it's going to be sunny and nice. How about an adjustment? You're at the combine. The Kirk stuff is all around you, and you're going J.J. McCarthy to Atlanta?
Do you think they signed Kirk to Declan's like $80 million 2-year prediction and draft J.J. McCarthy 8th? I don't know, man.
No, I don't.
Bears take offensive tackle Olu Fashanu at 9. Jets take offensive tackle Talise Fuaga at 10. So far, no defensive players off the board, right? We're 10 picks in. Is that going to happen? Really?
I'm not high on this draft at all.
And the Vikings take the first defensive player off the board with the 11th pick. I'll make it official here.
No.
Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State University.
I want a mock.
So you get that big a room of like football savvy people together to do a 3-round mock at the combine. When you're
They were just in that room without any contact with the outside world for 5 days.
it was sealed. It was completely sealed. They couldn't leave.
Here's the write-up. As long as the Minnesota Vikings follow through with their stated goal of re-signing Kirk Cousins this offseason, Jared Verse is the perfect choice. While Verse didn't make headlines at the Combine, he put together an impressive showing with an unofficial 9.4 RAS score out of 10, which doesn't include his 31 bench press reps that were 5 more than any other defensive end. Even better, Verse posted that number while measuring in with a 33.5-inch set of arms to solidify his status as the top edge defender on the Bleacher Report big board. So there you go. By the way, I'm looking for other quarterbacks here. Broncos don't go quarterback. Bunch of defensive players. Looking for Penix. Looking for Bo Nix.
Who's the Vikings' 2nd-round pick?
Oh, that's right. It's a 2-round mock. Hold on.
Well, it's a 3-round, but I don't care about the 3rd round.
Right. A 3rd-round pick.
I mean, from a no trade. Well, wait. They don't have a 3rd-round pick.
No, they just have a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, never mind.
So no other quarterbacks in the 1st round.
All right.
Okay, here we go. There's no write-ups for the 2nd round, but they have... Interesting. Okay, Vikings at 42. They take the next quarterback off the board. Bo Nix from Oregon.
I want a mock. I want you.
Michael Penix goes 2 picks later to the Raiders at 44. There you go.
All right. Thanks. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for nothing.
Judd, you sound disgruntled.
Well, I'm not happy with this mock draft. Like, you get that many football savvy people.
Are you disgruntled?
I am disgruntled.
I am disgruntled.
I am disgruntled. Judd, do you know the reference we're talking
Oh,
about?
I've not seen. No, I'm
You
not
gotta
caught
catch
up yet. I've only seen 2 episodes.
The vertical drop, horizontal tug. It's a top 5 episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm for me of all time.
Are
It's
we
phenomenal.
4 in now?
We're like 5 in.
5. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I got 3 to catch up on. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm with Dex, man. 20 plus years of Curb, 23 years of Curb. The vertical drop, horizontal
tug.
Although, you know what?
Larry sits in unknowingly or knowingly on someone else's golf lesson, gets called out for it, and then applies the thing that he learned and hits a ball like way further than he would, and
I've seen that clip.
hits a deaf guy because he's like, oh, the guy, I can't yell for, the guy's deaf. What do you want me to do? He's deaf.
I've seen the clip.
Postmates? Do you want a nice
You know what the
Postmates dinner?
shame is? The shame is that show is now done because Richard Lewis's wife electing to bury him in real life in Roseville, Minnesota, would be one of the greatest Curbs of all time.
Oh
What
my
is
God.
okay? Dumb question. Is he from Minnesota then originally?
His wife.
She is.
So she's
She
from
went to
Minnesota.
you.
He has nothing
Yeah.
to do with the
He's gonna
state.
bury him in Roseville.
Can you imagine?
What are you
Like
doing
if they
there?
had
What the hell
some
do I have to go to
service
Roseville?
in the winter that he has to go to.
Boom, boom.
Was it the episode before where he goes over to his neighbor's house for a wake because he thinks that his neighbor's dad died, and it was his neighbor's father-in-law. That's your
not as bad.
father-in-law?
So your
Oh,
father's still around.
That's not as bad.
That's not a loss.
I went to come. Anyways, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb
we're
Your-
gonna do a Curb Your
Curb Daily.
Enthusiasm
HBO
daily.
Plus.
actually.
Curb
Yeah.
Daily. Curb Daily.
So, all right, there it is. Write that down. Accountability session and a woefully terrible mock draft from Bleacher Report. Scott, do better, Bleacher Report.
Make trades.
Make trades. Read the news.